Tonight on the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, history repeats itself because 40 years ago he escaped and has come to Haddonfield to murder, and now he has escaped to come to Haddonfield and murder Jamie Lee Curtis. Halloween. Not like the original Halloween, but like the new Halloween 2018.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror! Nightmare Baby Circus. Anyways, tonight, episode number 7. Are we in a week in already? A week in already. Time flies, doesn't it, my friends? Anyways, coming off of last night's lackluster performance of The Dorm That Dripped Blood, though, appreciate the ending, guys. I decided, you know what, it is time to do that compare and contrast. A couple episodes ago, I talked about Halloween 2, the original sequel to the movie Halloween, and gave you my thoughts on that. So, as I had promised, I am going to review Halloween 2018, the sequel to the movie Halloween. Yes, naming was their strong point. I mean, honestly, like, the next installment's called Halloween Kills. Guys, seriously. Anyways, so what is Halloween about? Well, Halloween is the sequel to Halloween, and it is basically retconning Halloween 2 through a million. And this is now the sequel. Michael Myers inexplicably was captured somehow and is now back in the mental institution, and it is, 40 years later, and a pair of bloggers, journalists, are doing a documentary about the serial killers, and they want to kind of get into his mindset and whatnot, and so they go visit him, they try to interview him. Of course, he doesn't say shit anyways, but they show him the mask, and ooh, all the crazies kind of go, ooh, it's the mask, oh god. Anyways, they fail to get a reaction, and they then try to go contact Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis, who survived the original events, and want to convince her to go meet Michael, because everyone wants Michael to talk for some reason. We all want Michael to say something. Why? He talks through his blade. That's how Michael talks. That's like, normal people will come out and say, hi, how you doing? He's like, bleh. That's Michael speak for hello, how are you? I'm having a good day. You're not going to have a good day. Actually, you're bleeding all over the place. How strange. I wonder how that happened. Oh yeah, I have a knife. Okay. Anyways, that's his language, okay? Anyway, so of course, Michael Myers escapes and heads back to Haddonfield so that he can murder people, specifically his, I guess, I don't know if he's technically sister anymore. I don't know, because they retconned Halloween 2, and Halloween 2 basically established that Laurie Strode was actually his sister and that she got adopted by the Strodes. And anyways, sorry about the spoilers for Halloween 2, but it doesn't exist anymore according to this. So, I don't know. So he goes on to try to kill him, and of course, she had a couple failed marriages, has a daughter, and her daughter has a daughter, so you've got 3 generations of Strode women to be murdered by Michael Myers. Anyway, so that's the basic plot. So, throw in a new Dr. Loomis, and the guy working for the sheriff who was also in the other 2 Halloween movies, Halloween 1 and 2, and you have yourself a nostalgia good time of murder, stabby. Okay? I'm not going to get further into the details of the plot because spoilers. Anyways, so what are the scores? Scores are Violence and Gore. I am giving this a 4 out of 5. It is definitely a lot more violent, a lot more brutal, a lot more bloody than Halloween 2. That is for sure. It is more visceral. And like you've got things like, you know, human jack-o'-lantern. Suffice it to say, some nice head stompage. And, of course, the stabby we all know. But also just the kills themselves are more brutal, more visceral, taking notes from the more brutal and visceral movies that have come out in the last, 10, 15 years, using that kind of violence, maybe even 20 years, instead of the kind of toned down, more tame-like violence that was in Halloween 2. So, yeah, the Halloween remake, reboot, whatever, definitely gets the points there. 4 out of 5. Shock value, I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. The shocks are pretty nice. They've got some pretty effective jump scares in this movie, and then there is a plot point and character point that also adds to the shockness of it, but that's spoilers. However, we'll talk a little bit more about that soon. So, 3 out of 5 for shock value. Pretty solid. Plot, this is where I'm going to be brutal. 2 out of 5. And why? It's because they Force Awakened the movie. It's such a rehash of the original Halloween, hitting the plot points pretty steadily. Yes, sure, juxtaposing some things, but literally you're like, hey, they did this in Halloween, so let's do this. Oh, they did this in Halloween, so let's do this. Let's change it up a little bit. Let's do this. It feels kind of unoriginal. It feels kind of like part of it is like I don't understand. There is a lot of wasted moments in this movie. The wonderful thing about the first Halloween 2 is that it is pretty concise. It is pretty focused, and there isn't a whole lot of side plots that they dive into at length, and they don't need to, because it's the movie gets to the point and stabs it. This movie, it tries to go all over the place, with the whole documentary thing and the trauma that Laurie's gone through, and then the whole family dynamic and the broken family dynamic, and then you have the thing with the daughter and the boyfriend, and it just feels like they could have done a much tighter job, cut out a whole bunch of stuff that honestly is not that necessary. I mean, we don't necessarily need that much character build in this type of horror movie. But that being said, it does have a nice little turn the tables type of thing going on toward the end that I'll give it some credit for. But overall, it disappoints because it seems to lack a little bit of focus. And also the plot point with the new doctor, they looked like they were going to establish something interesting that they could have worked better with, and then they just kind of ended it, and that felt like a gigantic waste. Why bother? Why bother? I mean, I know it does move the movie forward a bit, but it feels like a wasted opportunity. So anyways, 2 out of 5. Acting, I am going to give it a 3 out of 5. Look, Jamie Lee Curtis, she's a great actress, but I feel like her performance is just a little all over the place. And because of that, because some of the other characters are a bit ridiculous and tropey, I mean, there's fine, but in the long run, it's nothing super spectacular. It's better than average. It's good, but it's not great. 3 out of 5. So, moving on to Nudity. 0.5 out of 5. They relive that opening scene from Halloween where Michael Myers stabs his sister. Really brief. That's about it. 0.5 out of 5. Enjoyment factor, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. I do enjoy the movie. Standing by itself, it is a solid horror movie with great violence and gore. Some pretty solid shocks. Disappointing plot, yes. Choices, also disappointing. The fact that it is very recycled, also kind of disappointing, but still solid, still worth a watch. Not a bad movie, a good movie, not great. Anyways, so 3.5 out of 5. My overall impression, though, is a 3 out of 5. Wasted opportunities. Honestly, they should have made this Halloween 3, because that's the movie that needs to be replaced. I mean, Halloween 3 is a movie that I enjoy, but it can be a non-Halloween movie. For all I care, it can just not be a Halloween movie. It can be, just call it Season of the Witch. But this movie should more be like Halloween 3. Honestly, they don't tell you the most important thing that happens after Halloween. The first movie, Michael Myers gets shot several times, and then he walks away. And this movie just sort of glosses over that fact. So we don't really get the continuation. We don't get the story of how they actually caught him. How did you catch Michael Myers? I don't know. He's just there. We caught him somehow. He gave up. He was tired. I don't know. He passed out. Who knows? Who knows indeed. Honestly, I think you could still have Halloween 2 be the sequel, and then they just, have his charred remains still surviving somehow, and then he's just a horribly disfigured, burnt up guy in Halloween, instead of, Halloween, whatever. Anyways, instead of how they have it is right now. So, 3 out of 5. That average score is 2.7 out of 5, which is actually pretty solid when it comes to the averages on this channel. So, there you have it. Halloween, honestly, as a replacement for Halloween 2, I don't think it was necessary. And I think it would have been better served as either Halloween 3 or maybe just retell the story and start over and have it be Halloween, I don't know. But as a sequel, I don't think it does as good a job as being a sequel, as in direct sequel to Halloween, as Halloween 2 does. So I think we could still keep Halloween 2 and just make this Halloween 3. I mean, can we do that? Why can't we? I don't know. Anyways, plus the fact Loomis is dead. I mean, spoiler for Halloween 2, I guess, but yeah, it would all work out. Anyways, in my opinion. Anyways, that's it. Okay, Halloween. The episode is in the books. Tell me what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you think that it recycled too much and had too many superfluous plot lines and they messed up the doctor thing? Or do you disagree with me and you think Halloween is greatest, the best ever, or just, at least way better? I mean, sure, yes, it is better than Halloween 2. Alright, it is better than Halloween 2. However, as a sequel to Halloween, Halloween 2 is a better sequel than Halloween 2018. If I'm being confusing, so be it. Anyways, leave a like, comment, subscribe, notifications, blah blah, anything. Anyways, I am Zankoku. Thank you for watching another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, and I will see you next time, everybody. And remember, folks, stay scary, internet. And if you're studying like some psycho serial killer, I don't think it's appropriate to provoke them with something like their mask. I don't know. It just seems like a bad idea. Just saying that. Just putting it out there. Okay? Yeah.